Alright, welcome back. We're going to be doing green and the rest of the cards in this one. This will be like a little bit longer than the black and red and blue and white videos, but we'll power through it. So first up, we've got Turtle Duck. Very cute. It's single green for an 0/4. It doesn't have Defender. It's a turtle bird, and it has this ability 3. Until end of turn, this creature has base power 4 and gains trample. So doesn't really have threat of activation because you don't get anything if you don't activate it, but 4/4 is a lot of stats.
I mean, it does have threat of activation on blocks.
Sure, yeah.
It's not on attacks.
Yeah, that's fair. I guess, so like you can use instants is what you're kind of saying, like if they don't attack because you couldn't activate it. Yeah.
It also just like means that as a 1 mana investment defensive creature, like at 4 toughness, it's gonna block most of the early creatures.
Yeah.
And then after that, it's going to like posture having the ability to do this or other instance or like stuff like that.
The main thing I'm saying is that threat of activation doesn't matter unless you take advantage of the fact that you didn't have to activate it.
No, this is correct. Yeah.
But this, I think the question really boils down to like, is this just kind of fine rate? And I think it might be.
Yeah, like every other instance we've seen of this kind of effect, it hasn't been. Like it's often been like 4 mana to activate, and like in formats where creatures are a bit bigger. Part of it to me depends on like what green's stat breakdown looks like, because before, like for the other 4 colors, I feel like 4 toughness blocks almost everything, common and uncommon, and like bounces off. And so like I don't know, it's a high bar for me to imagine putting this in my normal limited decks, but like in terms of like a more controlling deck or any deck where I'm like, I have powerful top and I need defensive speed, like this might be good enough.
I think where I'm at is basically I will put this in my deck and be fine with it if I want defensive speed.
Yeah, I think that's where I'm at too. And I'm curious to see if it actually plays out that way or if it
So I want to give it a 7.5.
Yeah, sure.
Cool.
Next up we have Pillar Launch. This is a green mana for an instant. Target creature gets +2/+2 and gains reach until end of turn. Untap it. So we have another +2/+2 trick that can ambush flyers. This seems like your standard trick with upside. It is. Usually we see untap on 2 mana tricks. Like it's rare that we get it on a 1 mana trick.
Yeah, I mean we've gotten this exact card before, I think.
Oh,
it was like arachnid something or whatever, and it just did exactly the same thing.
Oh, I think it cost 2
was fine.
Though.
No, it did not. It cost single green.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure we've gotten exactly the same card in limited before, and it was like a good trick, but not amazing because fundamentally it's only giving +2/+2.
Mm-hmm.
But it could be that like if this lines up well into the format, it might actually be pretty premium. I want to give this a 7. I think it is just like a completely fine card to put in your deck.
Yeah, I think 7 or 7.5 is where I'm at. Like it's a combat trick. It depends to me a lot, like what is a combat, how much do I like combat tricks in this format. And it's looking like probably pretty well, so maybe it's just a 7, but...
Yeah, there's also the question of like, do instants and sorceries that aren't lessons have like attacks by not being lessons?
Yeah, I think
that could be a thing, but I think green is probably the place where it's least likely to be a thing.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think 7.5 is fair.
Works for me.
Next, Origin of Metal Bending. This is a lesson for 1 and a green. It's an instant. You can either be a naturalized, destroy an artifact or enchantment, or you can put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control, and it gains indestructible until end of turn. That's some really nice upside on my naturalized.
Yeah, also like, as a protection spell goes, it not only protects you from destroy removal, it misses on exile removal, but it hits on like pacifism kind of removal as well. Like as a protection spell, it's actually like kind of wider because of that.
I think this is just kind of a nice card.
Yeah.
Like this is, I think, the best compliment I can give is a main deckable naturalized.
Yes.
It is fully main deckable. I want to give it a 7. It's fine. It's not special. You're not getting like a meaningful advantage by putting it in your deck. Like it's not pushing the game forward. It's not good on rate exactly, but it's fair on rate. And that's like, you're almost always going to be able to use it for a card's worth of value.
This description sounds like a 7.5 to me.
Sure, I think 7.5, yeah.
Yeah.
Not going to quibble.
Yep. Next up, we have Rebellious Captives. This is 1 and a green for a 2/2 creature, human peasant ally. Exhaust, 6 colorless, put 2+1/+1 counters on this creature, then Earthbend 2. So 2 mana 2/2 with 6 mana, 1 time, generate 4 power.
It's not that bad, but it's not that good.
Yeah, it's like, I feel like this is like in a long line
It's
of...
kind of 7 mana if you want to use the Earthbend.
Yeah, it's a lot in a long line of like your 2 drops with 6 mana become a big creature.
Yeah. I want to give this a 7.5. I think it's a bit below average.
Yeah, it is nice that you eventually get 2 bodies off of this huge investment, but it is a large investment.
Yeah, and it kind of needs to be 7 mana for you to get 2 bodies a little bit.
Yeah, at least the turn you do it. You can do it at end of your turn.
Yeah.
End of the turn, but yeah, it's...
I don't know, yeah, like I held up 6 mana for an entire turn cycle.
Exactly, yeah. I like 7.5 to 8.
Yep. Alright, Rocky Rebuke, 1 in a green. Instant. Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature an opponent controls.
Never seen this card before.
So instant bite spell. It's fine. It's not great removal because it's pretty like contextual and needing a creature.
Notably, we have, unless we see one at green and 2, we've not seen like cheap Death Touch creatures.
Yes, that's actually.
And almost every other time we've had this card, we've had cheap Death Touch
creatures. Had a common like 1-drop green Death Toucher or 2-drop or something.
Or in like black type or draw its vibe.
Yeah. So, I'm not too high on this card. It's not like Heartless Act. It's not a Doomblade, but it's not that far from that. I want to give it a 7. I think it's just like very average. You don't need to prioritize it, but you'll play it in like a good amount of green decks.
I think I agree. And also for me, it'll just depend a lot on like what we see in the rest of green and how much it like actually can kill creatures.
Totally.
All right. Next up, we have. How do you pronounce that?
Raucous.
Raucous Audience. 1 in a green for a 2/1 creature, human citizen. Tap, add green. If you control a creature with power 4 or greater, add green instead. Oh, that's a
1 toughness.
Yeah.
Red alert.
Wee you.
I mean, Mana Dork is nice. It's a common 2-drop Mana Dork. That's like a lot you're getting out of a common creature.
It's not a fixing Mana Dork. Upgrading to 2 mana is like pretty nice.
Yeah, I think this card's fine, but I think the 1 toughness might make it like a little bit worse than it seems.
Yeah, it also depends on like I don't know how much you want to skip on curve in green. Like, do you want to play a 2 mana 2/1 just to play your 4-drop a turn earlier?
Yeah.
Maybe.
I think maybe. I don't know. Like, it just adding mana as a Mana Dork is like fine.
Yeah.
I think this is probably pretty equivalent to like Gubu Gardener in Final Fantasy, which was just like one of the green cards you could put in your deck and it was okay. Yeah. I would like to give it a 7.
Yeah, I can see going lower. But
I could, yeah, but I think 7 is
Seven's fine
a
to
safe
start.
place to start. Next, Walltop Sentries. This is a Death Toucher. 2 in a green for a 2/3 with Reach and Death Touch. And when it dies, if there's a lesson card in your graveyard, you gain 2 life.
So that's like kind of like you're not putting lessons in your deck for this card.
Yeah,
it's
but it will like
it's
sometimes gain 2 life.
I do like 2/3 Reach Death Touch is kind of a nice stat line lineup.
It's pretty nice. That's like an on-rate stat line.
We've seen 2/2 and 2/3 flyers a bunch, and it just like stops them.
Yeah. It's also nice that you can block the flying prowess creature with this and like not be sad exactly if it trades. Yeah, this card's fine. It's a 7.
Yeah, it's like fine defensive. Next up we have Cycle of Renewal. Harrow is back. 2 in a green for an instant lesson. Sacrifice a land. Search your library for up to 2 basic land cards. Put them onto battlefield tapped, then shuffle. Notably, sacrificing land is not part of the cost, so you won't get blown out if this is countered. It's just instant speed, rampant growth that also is like giving you more color fixing.
Yeah.
Which is like, there's not really landfall synergies in this format.
Right. The thing about Harrow is that it's been good when it's been printed before, but it's usually been printed in like sets with heavy landfall themes.
Yeah.
This does not have that. So I'm gonna assume this is like not great to start because you don't want to pay 3 mana for a rampant growth in limited. Notably, the lands enter untapped, so like you ended up spending 1 mana on it.
No, the lands enter tapped.
Oh, really? Oh, then this is different from Harrow.
Yeah, no, I realized that after I started reading, I was like, wait a second.
Yeah, so that's actually pretty bad. That's like a notable downside.
No, that's a pretty big downside, yeah.
I think I'm gonna start this at like a 9. I think you're just not really gonna want to play this in most
I think
decks.
you'll like know the spots where you want it, and it'll be like your outlier multicolor decks, but it'll be a trap to like build around and rely on that in a lot of those decks.
Agreed. Yeah. It's like playable fixing if you really need fixing, so I'm not gonna give it a 10. But
Yeah, I like 9 for this a lot.
next up, Ostrich Horse. 2 and a green for a 3/1. When this creature enters, mill 3 cards. You may put a land from among them into your hand. If you don't, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature.
It's made for you.
I love these kinds of cards, kind of. Mill 3 is in this like really awkward spot where sometimes you will just whiff and it really sucks. It's nice to get the bonus, but like, I don't know, Patient Naturalist from OTJ gave you a treasure, and I think I'd prefer that to this a good amount, because like, if you whiff on your land drop, you really want to still be able to cast whatever you're planning on casting.
Yeah.
This being a 3-mana 4/2 is pretty below rate, and even if it hits a land, 1 toughness, 3/1 is not really totally worth a card. Like, it's not really a super real creature sometimes.
Yeah. It is also kind of like awkward that it forks itself, in that like 4 power matters in this set, and whether or not it hits 4 power is at odds on whether or not you get your land.
Right. I
Like,
think
you
they're
get to
trying to
choose,
design this
but-
so that like it's actually an interesting choice and you want both modes. But I think functionally, I mean, I guess it's nice that it is a May, and late in the game you can just choose to have a 4/2 instead of grabbing the land. Like, that's okay.
Yeah.
And all this is to say, this card is not bad. Like, it's a 3-mana creature that can trade off and get you a card and like smooth your draws and get, find you lands and mill. Maybe there's some minimal upsides to milling in the set that we've already seen. So it's not bad. I might still give it like a 6.5. I just think it's not actively good, and these cards have been actively good when we've seen them before in Limited. This one is just medium.
Yeah, I'm between 6.5 and 7 as well.
Yeah, I think 7 would be like a very reasonable grade too.
Yeah. Alright, next up we have Foggy Swamp Vinebender. This is 3 and a green for a 4/3 creature, human plant ally. This creature can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less. Waterbend 5, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. Activate only during your turn.
Interesting.
Activate only during your turn is unfortunate for how I want to play waterbending.
Yeah, that's part of it. Like, this is a little bit below rate, I would say. For 4 mana, 4/3 can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less. It's not great as a blocker, but it's like it's a pretty big attacker that doesn't let them double block, and they need to trade a real creature for. And then the Waterbend is like nice upside. It's probably not easy to use very often, but when you do, it'll be like relevant. 7.5.
I want to give it an 8.
Yeah, that's
it's
fair.
Very awkward. I think waterbending, not being able to waterbend into your opponent's turn, makes it a lot harder to use, because if you're committing creatures, those creatures cannot block.
Yeah, I think you are maybe a little bit over-indexing on like waterbending during your opponent's turn being like the universal thing you always want to do with waterbending, and that's always how you have to play it.
I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it's adds a lot of flexibility and power to tapping your creatures.
Yeah, but like I guess like what I'm saying is like you're usually not tapping your creatures to pay for this, and you're also usually not tapping your creatures to pay for your other waterbending costs. Like, you will, and it matters, and it's good that you can leave them up, and like that is a very relevant interaction, but it's not like all that's going on with waterbending.
Yeah, I guess I would claim it's a lot of what's going on with waterbending.
Yeah, we might disagree. We'll see. Next up, Earthbending Lesson. This is a lesson that does earthbending.
Whoa!
It is 3 and a green for Earthbend 4, Sorcery Lesson. There are like 2 words on this card, and the 2 words are the name of the card.
Yeah.
It's very funny. It's not great.
It's fine. It's like a...
I don't think it's fine, actually. This is, in a sense, a 5-mana 4/4.
Yeah, which I think is like... 5-mana 4/4, like, puts a relevant type in. It could also be a 4-mana tapped 4/4.
Yeah, so but again, like, you also then still have to choose whether to use the land for mana
also,
or
to be clear, if it's on 5 mana, it's a 5-mana 4/4 haste.
Sure.
Which I think is notably different from 5-mana 4/4.
Sure, but also, again, it's a land, so you're
Yeah.
going down a land. If
No,
you're
going
using it
down
as a
land is
creature.
huge,
That's like a
yeah.
huge downside, right?
Yeah,
So this is not just like a card that creates a body on its own. Exactly.
for sure. I agree with that.
I think I'm just like not gonna want to play this in most decks.
I
It's
think-
not that far off from playability, but I want to give it like an 8.5 to start.
So I think where I'm interested in this card is that it lets me add type lesson to my creature slot.
That's true.
And so it lets me get a higher density of lessons in a deck that cares about having creatures.
Sure.
And so that to me is like I am in like the 7.5 to 8 range. I think it's like generally below replacement level as a card on its own, but there's gonna be spots where I care about it.
That's fair. Also, I think I got this wrong because I had been thinking of this like blue-red uncommon that cares about lessons. That I thought blue-red was the lesson space. I think it is actually blue-green. So
is
the
it?
lessons might matter.
Oh
a
yeah,
little bit more
there's
in
a
blue-green.
blue-green 2-drop that like spends mana for lessons
Okay,
and stuff.
so just noting that we got that wrong because I was thinking of an uncommon that we're going to get to later that does care about lessons in blue-red, but
Yeah.
this is more relevant being a lesson in green because lessons do actually matter for blue-green, so that might change a little bit of our evaluations on the previous cards, but I don't think it changes them by that much.
Yeah. For this one, I think is very notable.
It is,
How,
yeah.
Like,
Putting it in your creature slot matters.
yeah.
I want to give this an 8.5, but I'll settle for an 8 if you want to compromise there.
I'm gonna start at like a 7.75.
Cool.
Ish. But yeah. Next up we have Badger Mole. This is 4 and a green for a 4/4 creature, Badger Mole. When this creature enters Earthbend 2, creatures you control with +1/+1 counters on them have trample. So 5 mana, make a 4/4, make a 2/2. Summon Fat Chocobo? Question mark? Not exactly, but
Not exactly, but not exactly.
yeah, it's like
I
it
feel like I've
is.
said that a lot.
Yeah, it does cost the land for your Earthbend 2, and if you want that creature untapped, it's 6 mana.
Yeah,
But-
I think I think this is like a slightly below rate common 5-drop, so I want to give it a 8.
I want to give it a 7.5. I think it's like slightly below replacement for a 5.
Yeah.
In general, like I don't know, it is 2 bodies, even though it's like a higher cost 2 bodies.
That's true.
So like 7.58, I'm fine with.
Next, Sabertooth Mouse Lion, Moose Lion. Mouse Lion would be very different. 4 green for a 7/7 reach.
That's big.
And this is our Forest Cycler, so Forest Cycling 2.
That's big.
It is
It
the
does not have
green
tramp.
Forest Cycler. It
Yeah.
has keyword big and keyword reach, which
Yeah.
does help you stabilize.
It's bigger than everything else.
I like it.
Period.
It's worth your 6 mana, I think, as a common.
Yeah.
I want to give it a 7. It's fine.
Yeah, that's generous for 7, but I guess green has ways to tap creature, add mana. So yeah.
Yeah. Like,
Seven
the land
works.
cyclers are naturally a little bit better in green. This is basically on rate for a land cycler, so I want to give it a 7.
Works for me. Alright, we're into the uncommons and we have Seismic Sense. This is a single green for a sorcery lesson. Look at the top X cards of your library, where X is the number of lands you control. You may reveal a creature or land card from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in random order. This is kind of a deceptively weird card in that in order to hit off of it, you want to hit type creature or land, but also like the more lesson, it's like a lesson cantrip. It's never digging you for your lessons, but it is like a cantrip in your lesson deck.
Yeah, and it becomes a pretty good cantrip, like, later in the game. This can dig you
Yeah.
toward your bomb pretty effectively, and you can use it if you ever, like, aren't gonna hit a land drop on turn, like, 3 or 4, and you'll be pretty happy for doing it like that. I think this card's, like, pretty good.
Yeah,
I'm, like,
I think
gonna put it in most green decks, if not
Yeah.
all green decks.
the thing to notice, hitting, even if you have a bunch of lessons in your deck, hitting land means that its fail rate is never going to be like super low, especially once you're looking at like 4 cards.
Yeah, I think this is a card, weirdly, because it's a cantrip, you sort of think you want to cast it earlier, but it's actually a card you want to avoid casting until later as much as possible because of
Yeah.
the scaling. But when you do cast it later, it's quite nice. It turns into like a little bit of a tutor. Like
Yeah.
Pillage the Bog is kind of powerful.
Yeah, and especially if you have like a high impact creature to get.
Right. It gets
Like-
much better with a bomb, obviously.
Yeah, with a bomb, I'd say it gets like almost premium.
Yeah.
Maybe
something
not,
close
but
to
like
that.
the ceiling here is high depending on what your deck looks like.
So, because green cares about lessons too, like there's upside there, I think I want to give this a 5.5.
I'm gonna give it a 6.
Yeah.
Maybe 6.5. I don't know. I think the ceiling's there, but the floor is like somewhat low, and if you ever whiff, you're like very sad.
That's fair, but I think it's really rare that you're gonna whiff.
I agree with that.
You need to be like casting this on turn 2 because you need to hit your land drop. And then yeah, it's painful that you whiffed, but it's sort of nice that you had the opportunity.
That's true. Yeah.
Otherwise, you're just like, we're gonna lose that game anyway.
I think I'm comfortable with like 5.5 or 6.
Yeah, fair enough. Next up, shared roots. 1 in a green for a lesson. It is literally rampant growth. Search your library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield tapped, and then shuffle.
As a lesson, I'm like, if my lesson space is providing me like card advantage for casting my lessons, having one of my lessons be developing my mana is like kind of nice.
Yeah.
This effect on 2 mana is much better than on 3 mana.
Much better.
Whether or not that's still good is a question, but
you care about lessons in green, I think you're gonna play this card, but if you don't, I think you probably don't play this card.
Yeah, or if you're like, it's also like not the worst as like just like your 18th land that's your splash land that lets you splashlings.
That's totally fair. Yeah, maybe green wants fixing, although I think this is a little bit less of a multicolor set than we've seen.
Yeah,
I could be wrong though. We're gonna get to the multicolor stuff later.
Yeah, like the things that are worth splashing we'll see in multicolor and we'll see at rare.
Yeah. Also, like, earthbending kind of makes you want to have more lands in play than normal, so I think this does matter in that way a little bit. I think this card's like pretty good. I want to give it like a 6.
Yeah, I think 6.5. I like it. Alright, next up we have True Ancestry. 1 in a green for a sorcery lesson. Return up to 1 target permanent card from your graveyard to your hand. Create a clue token.
It's like the green divination.
Yeah, I don't love this card.
I also don't love it.
It's like you need to.
But I would play it if I had a bomb.
Yeah, I'd also like sometimes just play it if my deck just needs some card flow.
Yeah.
Like it's returning up to 1 target permanent is pretty restrictive, but if you have enough creatures. And decks with a lot of creatures, usually the ones with the card flow problems, like grabbing your random dork plus creating a clue is like fine.
Yeah.
I guess it's very fine.
Extremely minor quibble, but I would not exactly call that card flow. It's like more specifically card advantage. I think of flow as like
you're right.
looting and stuff that like smooths you. This doesn't smooth you.
I would agree. No, it is the point is to go up cards.
Yeah, this is a way to go up cards.
Yeah, no, you're definitely correct there. Yeah, I agree.
It's like a language thing, so it's hard to be objectively correct.
No, but I agree with how you're using definitions.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right.
But yeah, so where do you want to put this? Like an 8?
Yeah, 8's fair. It's like maybe even a little bit better, like 7.57.
Yeah, I think
I
definitely think I want to take it below replacement.
Yeah.
But I think
7.5. I think
it definitely can be nice.
Yeah, this card might be like pretty good.
Yeah,
in a lot of decks. All right, next, Unlucky Cabbage Merchant. 1 in a green for a 2/2 human citizen. When this creature enters, create a food token. And when you sacrifice a food, you may search your library for a basic land card and put it onto the battlefield tapped. If you search your library for this way, put this creature on the bottom of its owner's library, then shuffle. My cabbages!
My cabbages! So this creature kind of reads 2 mana 2/2, 2 mana tap, shuffle to your library to ramp for growth, gain 3 lives.
Yeah.
In a weird way.
It also reads 2 mana 2/2, make a food, no downside.
Yes.
So like,
it's pretty nice.
It's 2 rectangles. It's pretty nice.
Yeah.
It's 2 rectangles. It helps with water bending. It is just like a little bit of life gain along with your 2/2.
A little bit of fixing sometimes.
If you need fixing, you can have that. Like, it's pretty good. It's not really getting you ahead unless you're making use of the rectangles aspect. But yeah, I like it. I want to give it a 6.5.
I would agree, yeah. Would you call this food a lander?
In a way.
Alright, next up we have Sparring Dummy. This is 1 in a green for a 1/3 defender, artifact creature scarecrow. Tap, mill a card. You may put a land card milled this way into your hand. You gain 2 life if a lesson card is milled this way. Hello? Okay.
So this is sort of like tap 40% draw a card and like maybe 10% gain 2 life.
Yeah.
And a 1/3 defender for 2.
I don't like the 3 toughness.
Yeah.
I wish it was 4 toughness.
This is a hard one to evaluate.
Yeah, my default is I don't like it. I also do not like that it has the keyword defender.
I like it, but maybe I shouldn't. Is where I'm at with this card. I think you will play it in your green-blue lesson decks, and you probably won't play it outside of them.
I want to give it a 9.
I'm gonna say 8, but I might be wrong.
I suspect you are probably wrong. Just like
I don't know, like tap, draw 40% of a card on your 2-mana 1/3 defender is not. It's not that far off from 1/3 make a clue.
I disagree with that statement pretty strongly.
Well, but like, why do you disagree with that?
Because it's drawing a specific kind of card.
Correct.
You're drawing lands, which are a nice kind of card, but do not scale well into the late game.
I agree they don't scale into the late game, but they matter more in the early game than a random card that might not be a land.
Yeah, I agree with that, but I also kind of despise the body just generally.
Yeah,
and
that's
I think
fair. But I still stand by the fact that this is not that far off from 2-mana 1/3 make a clue. So I guess that just means that I think it's not that unplayable. Like, you play this, you block their 2-drop with it, and you tap it over 2 turns, and you're pretty likely to get a card out of it without having to spend 2 additional mana.
I mean, if you say 75% is pretty likely, then
yeah. Like, and if they don't kill it, you keep tapping it, and you keep getting those chances.
Yeah, and
I don't know. This
eventually you draw 2 lands off of your 2-drop that was not good in combat.
Yeah, but that's fine if your deck is a mana hungry deck. I don't know.
It's fine.
Lands are just valuable. When big games happen in Limited these days, you want to hit every land drop, and this helps you do that.
I guess my issue with the card is that, I mean, I'm not disputing what you're saying about you eventually get a couple lands. I just think as defensive speed, it's kind of lacking.
Yeah, it's half of each basically.
And that's my main issue with it is I think if it was slightly better at defensive speed, I'd be a lot more interested.
Yeah, we can agree to disagree here, and the agreement is disagreement is 1 letter grade. I'm gonna stay at 8. You can be at 9.
Works for me. I will try casting it.
Oh, totally.
I would love to be wrong.
We both agree this card is sweet.
Yeah, I would. To be clear, I would love to be wrong.
Absolutely. This card is also sweet. Leaves from the Vine. 1 in a green for a saga. It has the first chapter, mill 3 cards, then create a food token, so not really worth a card yet. Second chapter, put a +1/+1 counter on each of up to 2 target creatures you control.
Okay, on 2 mana? I see you.
Yeah, it's weird. I kind of like that this gives you time to get the creatures in play, but it sort of doesn't.
Because you have to cast it,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess it really doesn't. And then chapter 3, draw a card if there's a creature or lesson card in your graveyard.
Yeah. Oh.
I mean, creature or lesson is pretty easy to enable. I think this is a hard card to cast on turn 2, but it's a pretty easy card to cast on turn 4 or later and get 2 mana's worth of value out of. Probably a little bit more than 2 mana's worth of value out of.
So the total what you're getting is a food, 2 counters, and a card.
Yeah.
For 2 mana.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah, I mean it's... If you could stack both counters on 1 creature, I'd be a bit higher on it, obviously, because it's 2 counters on 2 creatures can be inflexible on your non-creature card.
Yeah, this is a hard one to evaluate. I think I like it, though. I think it's, a little bit better than average. I want to give it a 6. I think you're just getting enough value.
I think I'm, closer to a 7. I think you're getting about a 2 drops worth of value, and you're trading off getting a little bit more for it being awkward and not being a creature, and requiring you to have creatures in play to be good.
Yeah, that's true.
You need to have in order to maximize this card, you need to have 2 creatures in play, which is something that you want to do actively in games of Limited, but won't always happen.
Also, notably, the milling 3 does mean that you can cast this on turn 2, and you'll probably get a card out of it.
Yeah, no, that's true.
So
I'm not really worried about the draw card part procking.
Yeah. So,
Besides the fact that it's still
I guess that the argument I would make is that like, if you do just cast it and another 2-drop on turn 4, you're like quite happy with what you got out of this. I think. Like you're not just like, oh, thank God I got exactly rate on this. I think you're like, oh, nice, I got something like decently above rate.
I think I would agree with that. Yeah, I mean it can give us me up to like a 6.5.
Yeah, sure, 6.5 or 7. I think.
Awkward, but like when it works, it's nice.
Cool. 6.5 for Leaves of the Vine.
Yeah. All right. Next up, we have Haru Hidden Talent. This is 1 and a green for a 1/1 legendary creature, human peasant ally. For some reason, I thought this card was a 2/2. Whenever another ally you control enters, Earthbend 1.
Until you said that, I literally thought it was a 2/2.
Yeah. No, because I'd like read this card a bunch of times and I'm like, oh, this seems like pretty nice as a 2/2, and as a 1/1, I'm like.
I think you need to be turbo allying.
Yeah, if you're turbo allying, this generates like a lot of power.
Like this is basically the 3-mana 2/2 ally, because you get 1 power or toughness when an ally enters.
But it's across bodies, which is really valuable.
Yeah, I mean it can be, but it sort of isn't, because like you never want to turn all your lands
into
that's
creatures.
That's the thing. Like it's you're pretty highly incentivized to put your Earthbend stuff on like 1 land, maybe 2 if you need a chump blocker at some point.
Kind of reminds me of like armies in that way.
I think this is more of a build around. Yeah, I agree. Earthbending is pretty similar to armies. Yeah.
It's a build around, but also like I don't know, the upside's not that high. This being a 2-mana 1/1, it has 1 toughness.
Yeah.
It's gonna die to like their random 6-drop or whatever.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. It's like when you do the thing, it's gonna generate what like 3-4 power off of your 2-mana 1/1, which is like.
I think it could generate like 5 or 6 power in some
which is
games.
like which is like good for your engine 2-drop. It's not like it's like happening on turn 2.
Yeah, I want to give this an 8.5.
Works for me.
Cool. And like build around, it's like a 6.
Maybe, yeah. We'll have to see.
All right, next up, Rockalanche. It's 2 and a green for a lesson. Earthbend X, where X is the number of forests you control. This is our mono green payoff, and it has flashback for 5 and a green. I mean, I'm not playing this unless I'm like very heavy green.
Yeah.
And even then, I'm not stoked about it.
I don't think I'm ever collecting this card if I'm not mono green, to be clear.
Yeah.
But if I am mono green, it seems like pretty efficient.
Yeah, it's like somewhat efficient, but I think I want my mono green card to be like really nice if I'm mono green. And this just like isn't that nice. I mean, you can wait and like make it 5 or something eventually, but
I mean, that's kind of what I'm thinking is like as like my top end is like inefficient. It's like a pretty efficient way to like make like 2 6/6s or whatever.
Yeah. ... When you're in exactly a mono green deck.
Yes.
Which
to be clear,
like I think this is a 9.5.
I agree. I do not want to touch this card if I'm not mono green.
Cool. Okay, we're gonna agree then.
All right. Next up, we have Allies at Last. This is 2 and a green for an instant. Affinity for allies. It costs 1 less to cast for each ally you control. Up to 2 target creatures you control each deal damage equal to their power to target creature an opponent controls.
Is this better or worse than the bite spell?
Better, I would say.
I think so too.
Because like,
you're gonna have one ally a lot of the time.
Like one of my issues with the bite spell is like the amount of creatures I expect to be chilling with 3 power, and the amount of creatures I expect to be chilling with 4 toughness.
Yeah. Like
this card just actually scales up, and will oftentimes cost 2 mana, maybe even 1.
Yeah, that's right. I think.
Like,
I think it's like definitely better, but it is a little bit the same card.
A little bit, but also like if it ever costs 1 mana at instant speed, I'm like, oh.
Yeah, and like it will. Like there are a lot of allies in the set.
Yeah.
So, I want to give this like a 6.
I was thinking 5.5. I'm in that range.
Yeah, fair enough. Next up, Toph, the Blind Bandit. Is this our first Toph card?
Yeah.
Yeah. I love Toph. My favorite Avatar character, personally.
Hell yeah.
2 and a green for a star 3 legendary human warrior ally. When she enters, Earthbend 2, and then Toph's power is equal to the number of +1/+1 counters on lands you control. So how much have you Earthbent? That's her power, and she's 3 toughness. This is like really good rate.
Yeah, no, I mean, it is not just the mana 2, 3, and 2/2 the turn you play, because you probably want to be tapping your Earthbending land for the next couple turns.
Yeah.
But like, it's just chilling there as a creature you can use eventually, and every other Earthbend thing just pumps Toph to being like a very efficient card.
Yeah. It's like, I would say hard for this card to be bad rate, and pretty feasible for it to be very good rate.
Yeah, and it's like a serviceable enough body that I'm just like, a lot of Earthbending cards, it's like, oh, I don't want to tap that land for mana anymore. I don't really care about playing this on 3, having a tap 2/2, and having the 2/2 be tapped for 3 more turns. Like, I can use it if I need to, or if it's convenient to, or I can just keep tapping it and then, like, develop more.
That's a really good way to explain why my intuition was like, I don't care that much about the Earthbending being like a downside here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to give Toph a 5. I think she's just like sweet.
Yeah, sounds good to me. Alright, next up we have Kyoshi Island Plaza. This is our quote-unquote heavy quotes, the heaviest quotes you've ever seen, engine for a shrine deck. This is 3 and a green for a legendary enchantment Shrine. When it enters, search your library for X basic land cards, where X of them are shrines you control, put them on the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. When the shrine you control enters, search your library for a basic land card, put it on the battlefield tapped, and then shuffle. 10! I mean, it may be like a 9.5 because it is like
3
bad
mana rampant
fixing.
growth. Yeah.
It's 4 mana rampant growth.
Oh, this costs 4?
Yeah, this card's so bad.
Jesus. Yeah, no. Oh my god, I thought it cost 3 and I was still going to give it like a 9.5. This is a 10.
Yeah. No, this is a 10. If it was 3,
I don't like it.
Serviceable, but like 4, no, this is...
I thought they were giving us hope. Like, it would be really cool if this Shrine deck was like never correct unless it was the most open a deck has ever been, but then maybe a little bit correct when it is. But the way they've costed these like just makes me think it is like completely a trap to go for.
Yeah.
Which sucks.
It's 3 4-mana shrines, a 3-mana shrine, and a 1-mana shrine.
Yeah.
Which is a little, just like, none of them are giving you close to return on...
I hope we're wrong and that the Shrine deck like is something nice that you can do and actually is like good if it is ridiculously open. Even, I just mean good enough to like trophy a draft with at some point, not like good enough to be viable competitively. But I don't even think it's going to be that, which is really disappointing.
I agree.
I hope I'm wrong. We could be.
Yeah.
Next up, Boulder Ready to Rumble.
The Boulder's ready to rumble.
The Boulder. Okay. Legendary creature, human warrior performer. I don't know if we've seen performer cards
We
before.
have, like in like Rakdos.
Oh, fair. Okay, so it's a 4/4, and whenever the Boulder attacks, Earthbend X, where X is the number of creatures you control with power 4 or greater. This is pretty good. I mean, 4 mana 4/4, like, not that bad.
Yeah, this card reminds me kind of Toph in that, like, it's a good enough rate that, like, yeah, I'll just, like, Earthbend and, like, cash that value in as an actual creature later.
Yeah,
it
doesn't Earthbend when it enters, which is a big difference from Toph.
Yeah, no, it's not the same in that way. It's more just, like, it's a serviceable enough body that I'm happy that Earthbending is just there as, like, upside.
Yeah, I think I want to give this a 6.
Works for me, yeah. Next up, we have Earth Kingdom General. This is 3 and a green for a 2/2 creature, human soldier ally. When this creature enters, Earthbend 2. Whenever you put 1 or more +1/+1 counters on a creature, you may gain that much life once per turn.
This is interesting.
This card is not a serviceable body by itself.
Yeah, but it is sort of 4/4 worth of stats.
Yeah, that gains 2 life.
When it enters.
Seems like, I don't know, it seems like fine to me. Like,
yeah.
It's like if you have a lot of Earthbending, you can
This
gain
one's
it by
hard
life.
to evaluate.
Yeah.
I think I want to give it a 7.
I'm going to give it a 7.5. I think it's not giving you quite a much return, because, like, this one I don't really like the 2/2 being tapped.
Yeah.
And on turn 5, I don't really like my 5 mana play being 2 2/2s.
Yeah, but I do like multiple instances of incidental life gain over multiple turns.
I agree with
can
that,
be
yeah.
true when you have this card.
And that's why it's a 7.5 for me, not an 8.5.
Totally fair. Yeah,
Like,
7.5 is fair. I might lean towards a 7, but like...
Fair enough.
Yeah. Earth Rumble, 3 and a green for a sorcery. Earthbend 2. When you do, up to 1 target creature you control fights target creature an opponent controls. Also really hard to evaluate. I feel like these Earthbending cards are all like below rate, but if you combine them in a way, they like all get better. So it's hard to tell how good these are.
Yeah.
I think this one is like pretty good. It's like a little bit Hunt the Weak. Not really.
I mean, I think this card, you need to be earthbending.
Yeah.
Like, or just have big creatures. Like, 4 mana Prey Upon is not really it. 4 mana 2/2 that makes one of your other creatures prey upon. Also, like, not great, but interesting. And then this card is that, plus sometimes it makes your earthbending creature big enough to prey upon.
Yeah.
So if you have a bunch of earthbending, like, the creature's gonna be big enough to fight profitably. But
I think basically, like, the upside is there. The downside is low enough where you're not going to put it in a deck that can't take advantage of the upside a lot of the time. But if you do put it in a deck that has, like, pretty high upside, you'll probably be able to use it for some amount of value most of the time. That's, like, where I'm at with it. Which means I think I just want to give it, like, a 7, 7.5.
yeah, I think I want to start 7.5. I'm expecting to be somewhat disappointed in that, like, I'm not that excited about the card Hunt the Week.
Yeah.
We'll see how it plays.
Very interesting one. I'm not sure where to land.
Agreed. Next up, we have Invasion Tactics. This is 4 and a green for an enchantment. When this creature enters, creatures you control get +2/+2 until end of turn. And it also has, when one or more allies you control deal combat damage to a player, draw a card. Notably, it's 1 or more allies, so you can only draw up to 1 card of combat.
This is the overrun variant, but it's like...
More like an underrun, because it's underwhelming.
Yeah, but like your overrun variant didn't draw you a card.
This is true.
Like, if this gives you a good attack for a turn, normally this kind of card would be like clearly bad if that's all it did. But this sticks around and is like an opportunity or a coastal piracy. Like, I think this might be okay if you can curve into it.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, I don't think it's like clearly. Like,
it's not that hard for it to
unplayable.
draw you 2 cards.
Yeah, I just like don't know if. I think I'm not excited about having cast it until I hit 3 or 4 cards off of that.
I don't know. I think I'm pretty happy if I like got in a really big swing and then drew 2 cards.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, this one's really hard to evaluate
It's
too.
a really weird one.
Green is really interesting in this set, I think.
Yeah.
It's like very different from what it normally is, but still very in green flavor. So I appreciate the design of green.
No, I think also just like all 4 of the bendings are just like some of the best design mechanics that I've seen.
Oh, the bendings are all great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I think I want to give this an 8.
I agree.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm like optimistic about it, but still.
I'm 8 pessimistic.
Fair.
But yeah, same difference.
All right, Boomy, King of 3 Trials. So this is 5 and a green for a 4/4 legendary human noble ally. When he enters, choose up to X, where X is the number of lesson cards in your graveyard.
Oh.
And then there's like 3 different abilities. First, put 3 +1/+1 counters on Boomy. So if you have a lesson, this could be a 5 mana 7/7.
6 mana.
Sorry, 6 mana. That's what I meant. But thanks. Or the second option is target player scries 3, and the third option is Earthbend 3.
And notably, you cannot pick the same option more than once, so it's up to 3 roads.
Yep. Most of the time, I think you're gonna make it a 7/7 first, and I think baseline you need to have like a pretty good density of lessons in your deck to make this playable. But if you are a deck that is a little bit building around lessons, I think this is like pretty good.
I think it's pretty excellent rate if you ever like get to pick at least 2.
And I think you're gonna get to pick 3 things like a not insignificant amount of the time in green.
Yeah. Like, I don't know, at pick 2 even, it's 10 power for 6 mana over 2 bodies.
And Scry 3 is also really valuable, as we've seen with like Imperial Oath type cards.
For sure, yeah. If it was like 6 mana 4 for Scry 3 or Earthbend 3, I also like that a lot.
That being said, this is a 6-drop with no cheaper buyout mode that only really has stats.
Yeah.
And needs to be enabled to be good.
I
Like, if you have no lessons, this is really depressing.
I would disagree with only stats because of the Scry 3, but like that's a quibble.
Sure. Yeah.
It
I
is
think you're
still
only
6
really
mana.
ever scrying 3 if you already are putting 3 counters on it, which means it's hard to be more than stats. Like, you need to do work, meaningful work to make it more than
I
stats.
agree that Scry 3 is always like almost always like the second or third choice.
Yeah. But regardless, this card's pretty good, but it's not amazing. I think I want to give it exactly a 7, and that's like a compliment for a 6-drop.
I agree with that. Yeah, it's a 7, but like for very different reasons that most 2-drops are a 7.
Yeah.
Next up, we have Flopsy, Boomy's buddy. This is 4 green for a 4/4 legendary creature, Ape Goat. When Flopsy enters, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. So it's really 6 mana 5/5. Each creature you control with power 4 or greater can't be blocked by more than one creature.
It's kind of like a 6 mana 5/5 to 8/8.
Yeah, this card represents a lot of power and also an evasion ability that like highly leverages having higher stats than your opponent. Like,
interesting.
If you make a bunch of like X4s, their 3/3s just can't block forever. Like, I think this card is like, the ceiling is quite high in how it can like just like dominate a game on its own.
Yeah.
The floor is like somewhat low, like if you don't have a lot of creatures or like any other creatures, it's 6 mana 5/5, and that's
6 mana 5/5 is like big enough that you're not like incredibly depressed that you spent 6 mana on it. Like it will be the largest creature on a lot of boards. And you need one other creature to have it be 6/6 worth of stats with a relevant ability. I kind of like this card.
Yeah, I think it's quite nice, yeah.
Yeah. Also, green is just kind of about, like, putting out a bunch of creatures. I want to give this a very complimentary 6.5.
Works for me.
Cool.
Could even see it being a 6.
Moving on to the multicolor. This is probably the more exciting section. Although currently we're looking at a hybrid card, and one thing I just want to note, because we're going to probably talk about a couple hybrid cards here, is hybrid is like more flexible than monocolor.
Yeah, this is the inverse of multicolor.
Yeah, it is like an opposite of multicolor card.
Yeah. This card fits in 2 colors into like 7 color combinations or something like that instead of 1.
Yeah. Or 7 instead of like 4 combinations or whatever. But yeah.
No, I'm comparing it to multicolor cards.
Oh, sure. Yeah. No, that's real. Anyway, so these cards, the hybrid cards specifically, are going to be like below normal rate costed, and then the multicolor cards are going to be above normal rate costed, and that's like accounting for their amount of flexibility.
Yep.
So this one, we have Cat Owl, which is 3 and a Nazorius hybrid. It is a 3/3 cat bird with flying, and whenever it attacks, untap target artifact or creature. So baseline 4 mana 3/3 flying vigilance.
That's like fine.
That's fine.
I'd say that's like at or slightly below replacement.
Yeah. And then you can also untap anything else you want to. I mean, that's going to be pretty hard to use, I would say.
Yeah, it doesn't untap lands.
Like, your 4-drop is usually going to be the most high impact thing to untap. So it's pretty hard for it to untap something beyond itself. So I'm basically just evaluating this as 4 mana 3/3 flying vigilance, which I think is like very slightly below rate. And so given that it's hybrid and it's a little bit more flexible, I want to give this like a 7.5.
I think you still want to give it like maybe an 8 because I think you could just do better in earlier picks.
Yeah.
But
Totally fair.
In that range. Like, yeah, it's hard for it to be like that bad. And it is quite flexible. Alright, next up we have Air Nomad Legacy. This is blue-white for an enchantment. When it enters, create a clue token. Creatures you control with flying get +1/+1.
I think this is bad.
I think it's probably bad as well. There's just like every color, like both blue and white, it's not every color, blue and white both have a number of cards without flying that you just like kind of want to be playing. Like trying to build around this and having all flying creatures comes at a cost. The cost is like creatures are blocking worse because they're like flying. The keyword flying, when it's put on a card, usually means that card is losing some amount of like stats or something in exchange for that because it's a high impact keyword. And so like maybe this is offsetting that, but like it's a real deck building cost to fill your deck with only flyers.
Yep, and I think you need like 2 power and toughness out of this card before you're like even okay with the rate. Like I don't think I would pay 2 mana for a 1/1 that ETBs and makes a clue token, right? Like that's just not a good card.
Yeah.
So the fact that you need to like have 2 flying creatures on the battlefield for this to even be like fine rate is just really tough.
Yeah.
There's probably a deck that you can make with it that's like pretty nice and sweet, and it'll be a cool draft when you do that. And like I don't want to give it a 10 because I think is sort of a build around that you can sometimes make work. But like, I think 9 is very fair.
I'm like leaning 8.5. I think there'll be like some decks will be like, yeah, I have enough flyers, I want this in my deck. But I think it's incredibly a card that I will not take unless I already have the cards for it.
Yeah.
I'm not, if I'm in blue-white, I'm not generically expecting to play this card. But if I have a bunch of like blue and white flyers, I'm like, okay. Because like if I bunch of like the 2-mana 1/2s that with a less than you plus 1/1 and they're enabled enough already in my deck, then this card just kind of like makes those cards even better.
Sure.
But yeah.
Yeah. 8.59, somewhere in there.
Works for me.
Next, Sokka Lateral Strategist, 1 and Azorius hybrid. So 3 mana for a 2/4 Vigilance, and whenever Sokka and at least one other creature attack, draw a card.
I like this card.
I like this card a lot. Yep.
This card's nice.
I mean, 2/4 Vigilance is pretty good at getting in attacks. It works well with waterbending. And like, you draw 1 card and you're very happy with this.
Yeah. And like, it's just like, yeah, it'll bounce off of another creature. Like, you'll sometimes you want to be in a deck that can like put some amount of work in making sure that you can do that attack, which is having 2 creatures and making sure that Sokka doesn't just die. But
yeah, like,
it's not like that hard to do it for a 2/4.
This is a 3-drop that when my opponent casts it, I'm like, shit, I need to kill that. And I probably can't really quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, this card's just, like, really nice. I think I want to give it a 3.
Oh, a 3. So you, like, have it above, like, Heartless Act and...
I think so.
Card?
Like, very marginally above Heartless Act.
Yeah. What was the other card we gave the 4/5 flyer a 3.5?
Yeah.
You have this above that card?
I think I would take this over that card.
I think I would, too, because it's hybrid. Like, it's so flexible and where you can put it in.
Super flexible. It's, like, proactive. It just gets you value.
Yeah. I think the fact that it's hybrid... Yeah, makes me want to put it out a 3.
This
it's
is
like,
the best card we've seen today so far. That's pretty high
I
praise.
think I agree, yeah. Next up we have Messenger Hawk. This is 2 and a blue-black hybrid. So either 2 and a blue or 2 and a black. For a creature Bird Scout, 1/2 flying. When this creature enters, create a clue token. And it gets +2/+0 as long as you've drawn 2 or more cards this turn. Don't love it.
I'm skeptical.
My instinct on this card is high skepticism.
Yeah.
Through Avalon Inspector, this is not. Yeah, I know you're a 1/2 that makes a clue, but you cost 3 mana.
Yeah, and like, it's gonna be really hard to get in multiple attacks with this at like a 3/2 rate.
And it's gonna be even harder to ever trade this off at a 3/2 on blocks.
Yeah, this is like almost never a 3/2 on blocks, which is rough, buddy. Yeah. I think this card sucks. I'm gonna give it a 9.5.
I agree.
Cool. Next up, Foggy Swamp Spirit Keeper. Is it just... I don't remember in the show, but like, there are way more Foggy Swamp cards in this set than Foggy Swamp was like a thing in the show, right?
It was like an episode or 2 in the show.
Yeah. I don't know why they like made so many cards, but sure, whatever, I'm here for it. So this is 1 blue-black for a 2/4 human druid ally with lifelink. So already that's like... That's good rate. I'm like playing that card in basically every deck that can cast it. And then whenever you draw your second card each turn, create a 1/1 colorless spirit creature token with this token can't block or be blocked by non-spirit creatures.
Spirit Shadow.
Yeah, I was going to say except by spirit creatures, which is exactly the same thing. But anyway, yeah, this card is really nice.
It is notably like, I would say it's an above replacement body, but it is conversely hit by multicolor attacks, and when we're talking about a pick order.
Yeah, the upside is not like tremendous. It's just like pretty good.
Yeah, I like the draw your second card each turn. Like, it's not enabling that itself, so it's kind of like, yeah, that'll happen sometimes.
Yeah,
but it's I'm mostly in it for the 3 mana 2/4 lifelink, which is like incredibly strong defensive speed.
I think I want to give this a 6. I think it's like good, but not premium. You don't prioritize it early.
Yeah. I mean, it's not really like pulling me into blue-black is the thing. So I kind of want to go like 6.5 or 7.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think 6 is a grade that says this pulls me into blue-black, I guess.
Oh, is it not? I don't know. 6 to me is like...
Like, above average doesn't mean pulls me in.
That's fair, yeah.
Right? Like, this is definitely above average.
Yeah, I think I'm between 6.5 and 6. Like,
fair enough.
Yeah. Next up, we have Hama the Bloodbender. This is 2 blue-black, blue-black, blue-black. And for a legendary creature, human or warlock.
Just to be clear, those are hybrid costs.
Yeah.
So this costs 5.
Yes, 2 and 3 hybrid blue blacks. The one thing to note about this mana cost is it's once you hit 3 hybrid symbols, it is a bit different from like 2 or 1.
Yeah, this is more of a blue-black
You
card.
need to either pay double blue or double black for it. If you're paying triple black or triple blue for it, like you're playing like blue-white or something, you suddenly need a lot higher count of that land in your deck. Like you need like 10 or 11 sources.
Yeah, so this card is like mono blue, mono black, or blue black.
Yeah.
Or like heavy blue or heavy black, and you're okay casting it later than on 5.
Yeah. So this card is more of like a multi-ish colored card.
Yeah.
Anyway, so what Hama does though is when Hama enters, target opponent mills 3 cards, except to one non-creature, non-land card from that player's graveyard. For as long as you control Hama, you may cast the exiled card during your turn by waterbending X instead of paying its mana cost, or X its mana value. So it's you mill them for 3, and then you choose a non-creature, non-land card from the graveyard. So usually that's gonna be like an instant or sorcery, or maybe like artifact or enchantment, and you can waterbend X to cast it.
That's nice.
It's pretty nice. It does suck that if Hama dies, then you can't cast it. However, if they're spending mana interacting with your 5 mana 3/3, it's like not the most efficient for them either.
Well, you can also just like choose whatever you can waterbend for right now.
Yes, no, this is true. So like it's if you can just like waterbend a lightning strike from them, that's nice.
Yeah.
The thing is like that flexibility is offset by the fact like you don't have much say over what's in your opponent's deck, right? So like it's not going to be like
but like I think you can probably expect there to be 2 mana non-creatures in your opponent's deck.
I think you can expect there to be somewhere between 2 to 4 mana non-creatures.
Yeah.
Which is like
and like you have like
that turn, but it is definitely
you have like 2 creatures and a clue laying around when you cast this.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, and it also doesn't have to select from the milled cards. It can just select from whatever.
Oh, and that's part of why I really like.
Yeah.
Why I kind of really like the card.
I think this card is like very good.
I think that's probably true. I could see it being awkward, but I could also just see it being pretty excellent. Like giving the spell Improvoke is just like.
Yeah, I think the triple hybrid cost means I'm bumping this a little bit down for flexibility, but I think that means I want to give it a 5. It's very good.
5 or 5 on 5.
Yeah.
I was thinking more towards like the 6 range, but I think like it's probably just pretty excellent.
Yeah, I think you're gonna like really want to cast this card.
Yeah, I think that card pulls me into blue black a bit.
Yep. Next up, Vindictive Warden, 2 and a Rakdos hybrid, so 3 mana for a 2/3 menace, has Firebending 1, and it has 3. This creature deals 1 damage to each opponent.
It's our colorless firebending card.
Yeah, and I actually think this card, like, it's a little bit deceptive because on rate, you're like, okay, 2/3 menace, and I can pay 3, really, like 2 with its attack to Firebend and deal 1 to my opponent. That's, like, not very good. But we've just seen a lot of cards that really like Firebending and work with Firebending. And this is, like, an on-rate body that has Firebending and an ability that lets it attack pretty freely a lot of the time.
I think the real question with this card is it actually an on-rate body or not? Because like Firebending is nice, but I think Firebending is at its best when it's like a lot of the good Firebending cards seem like either they have a really high Firebending number or it's like somewhat incidental or kind of a combination of both. Firebending 1 is like not that much, and a 2/3 menace might not stack up that well. I'm still like very interested in the card, especially as it's like as a semi-colorless way of like having access to the extra mana generation. But
yeah, I think like a lot of red decks that want Firebending are just going to be like pretty happy to play this card, is my guess.
I think they'll be
like I don't know, it just has 3 deal of damage to them. You can just like pass with 6 mana and they're at 6 life.
That's true.
Like you know,
3 is actually pretty cheap for that effect, even without Firebending.
I would not call it cheap. Like it's still very inefficient because you're not doing anything to affect the board.
I mean, I'm thinking more compared to the other times we've seen this effect.
Yeah, often we've seen like 5 mana deal 2 or something like that.
4 mana drain them 1.
Yeah, and this is like I would say a little bit less efficient than those, but it is a totally fine creature on its own. Like probably. Don't get me wrong, it's not good actively. It's like a little bit underrated, but you're just gonna have other ways to use the Firebending mana a lot, I think, and those other ways will be like pretty valuable.
Yeah.
So, all that is to say, because this card is hybrid and really flexible, where you can play it, I mean, it's mostly going to be played in red decks because red is like the color that cares the most about firebending by a lot. But I want to give this a 6.5.
Yeah, I was either going to give it a 6.5 or a 7. I'm definitely not going higher than that.
Yeah.
Works for me. Next up, we have Jao, Ruthless Admiral. This is 2 red-black hybrid, red-black hybrid for a 3/4 legendary creature, human soldier. Firebending 2. Whenever you sacrifice another permanent, creatures you control get +1/+0 until end of turn.
Huh.
Firebending 2, that's a number.
This, like, just is probably going to be decent in a black deck and probably going to be decent in a red deck, but not going to be amazing in either.
This card feels a lot like the last card we saw, honestly.
Yeah.
To me. Maybe like a little bit less flexible because it has a slightly harder time attacking, but
yeah,
it exchanged that for being a larger mana boost, and like sometimes it will just like pump your team.
Yeah.
You can play this in your red-white deck and be
+1/+0 is much different from +1/+1, to be fair.
For sure, yeah.
I think I want to give this a 7.5.
I think I'm gonna give it a 7.
Yeah.
It's
fair.
like also pretty flexible. I don't know. We'll see. I think 7.5 might be more accurate, but I'm interested.
Next up, Cruel Administrator. 3 black-red for a 5/4. It has raid. It enters with a +1/+1 counter on it if you attack this turn. So 5 mana, 5/4, but potentially 6/5 if you can raid it, which is pretty nice.
Both of those like pretty decent sad bodies for the cost, especially the 6/5.
Yeah, and then whenever this creature attacks, create a 2/2 red soldier creature token with Firebending 1. So 5 mana, 5/4 that attacks makes it 2/2.
That's like pretty good.
It's pretty good.
We've seen that before, and it's always been like fine. I think a 2/2 Firebending 1 is obviously better than a 2/2 by a little bit. Might have trouble attacking on turn 7, but
yeah,
it seems. I think this card is like pretty good.
It's pretty good. I think it's like on rate for a 5-drop. Slightly better, but slightly worse because of multicolor tax. So I just want to give it a 7.
Yeah, like I don't really. This card doesn't make me really want to play red black. It's not really like a huge sign.
It's not a draw in, but it's like you're happy to have it if you are in red black.
Yeah, if I'm in red black, I'm probably playing this almost every time. Next up, we have Earth Rumble Wrestlers. This is 3 and a Gruul hybrid for a 3/4 creature, human warrior performer. It has reach, and it gets +1/+0 and has trample as long as you control a land creature or your land entered the battlefield under your control this turn.
So it's like not that far off from a 4 mana 4/4 trample reach.
Yeah.
Like those two conditions are pretty easy to meet, and the fact that you get to meet it through either of them is pretty nice. There will obviously be scenarios where this isn't that, but like that's not very bad rate, I don't think.
Yeah,
it's not good, but I think this is just like a 7. It's just like a very solid creature you can put in your red or green deck.
Yeah, it's like it doesn't really get
definitely more of a green creature than a red creature.
Yeah, but I think it's one of the cards that like, has a good enough rate that you can kind of just put it in any deck where it's castable and it's not the worst. It's like
the reach is really nice.
I wonder about 6.5 just because of the flexibility.
That's totally fair. We've seen creatures be like a little bit
range.
understated in this format, so yeah, I think I'm happy with 7. But
yeah, I'm 7 trending up. I'm happy with.
Next, Bitter Work. 1 red-green for an enchantment. It's just an enchantment, and it has whenever you attack a player with 1 or more creatures with a power 4 or greater, draw a card. It's a really nice like immediate payoff if you already have a 4 draw or a 4 power creature that you can attack with. And then it gives you a way to enable itself. For 4 mana, you can Earthbend 4, but it's an exhaust ability, so you can only do it once, and you also can only do it during your turn. I like it, I think.
I don't love that it's a 3-mana enchantment. That
definitely not a draw into red-green.
Yeah.
But I think if you happen to have a deck that it works in, I'm like gonna play it.
Yeah,
That's basically where
the fact that it provides a body is night and day on whether or not I'd like it, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard to keep having creatures with power 4 or greater, but like I don't know, I think this creature is or this card is just like good enough when it's working that you probably want to accept the downside as long as you're working hard enough to enable it.
I think I agree with that.
So
like a 6.5?
I would honestly just say like a 7.
Yeah. I think I want to say 6.5. I'm a little bit more hopeful, but
fair.
Next up, we have Uncle Iroh. This is 2 red, green. So like 2. In,
It's 1
yeah.
red, green, red.
So yeah. Oh, so yeah. One colorless and then 2 Gruul hybrid for a 4/2 legendary creature human noble ally. Firebending 1 and lessen spells you cast cost 1 less to cast.
It's a really cute like overlap between red and green spaces card.
Yeah, and also like a kind of nice card, I think.
Yeah.
Like you don't always need to be attacking with it, and like it's if you like I want to kind of play the lesson cards. Like the lesson payoffs seem nice.
Yeah, if like this card weirdly generates a good amount of mana.
Yeah.
For like your 3 mana 4/2 with pretty flexible-ish cost.
It has the 4 power number.
Yeah. I think this card's like pretty good. I want to give it a 6. A 6. I'll give it a 6.
Works for me.
Cool. Next, Earth Kingdom Soldier. 4 and a Selesnya hybrid. 5 mana for a 3/4 vigilance, and when this creature enters, put a +1/+1 counter on each of up to 2 target creatures you control.
So it's most of the time going to be like a 4 or 5 vigilance that puts a counter on something else, but you could also, if you have a lot of creatures, like leverage 2 creatures.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's flexible.
4 or 5 vigilance for 5 is like on rate. Just like on rate, I think.
This is a
vigilance
hybrid,
is
so
a
it's
really good
flexible.
keyword to have on your larger creatures, I think.
I strongly agree.
I feel like these hybrid cards are kind of aggressively costed, and these might be the bread and butter creatures for like a lot of decks.
And I think also these existing definitely push the format. We were talking about we need good colorless cards for monocolor, and that's what hybrid does.
That might actually,
Hybrid
I actually
comes
think the format
yeah.
might be like a little bit monocolor.
Like we saw, like if you think back to like Shadowmoor, because anyone who played around then, like Shadowmoor Eventide, that was like very heavy monocolor format because of hybrid.
Yeah.
And I think we might be like in that space. I still think there's gonna be plenty of like 2-ish color decks, but I also think monocolor space is somewhat pushed by the existence of multiple of these hybrid cards, like common and uncommon.
And like the rates on them are just really competitive, I think.
Yeah.
Which I've actually been surprised with.
Yeah, I agree.
So I think basically what they're trying to say is like, you get to choose your main color based on like the rare and uncommon payoffs you find. You'll get enough playable creatures in it because these hybrid cards are gonna like be able to fill out your deck, and you won't be sad to be playing them to fill out your deck. And then you get to like choose a supplementary color based on whatever kind of happens to make your best synergies work, which I think I really like. I'm very excited.
Yeah, same.
I mean, we specifically are huge fans of original Throne of Eldraine because it had this very different draft strategy and different like the most limited emphasis where you actually did really want to build close to monocolor decks a lot of the time. I'm hopeful that this has a similar thing going on, and I'd be really excited for that.
So what do you want to give Earth Kingdom Soldier?
Yeah, anyway, a little bit of a tangent, but
like
I want to give this a 6.
I might still tend towards 6.5 because it's a 5-drop.
But it's just like
But
so much stats.
Yeah, it's definitely like the first 5-drop I want to take in a draft. Like I'm between 6 and 6.5. I'm a fan.
Yeah.
I think honestly, 6. It's enough stats. I think 6 is comfy.
Love it.
All right, next up we have White Lotus Reinforcements. This is 1 green white, so 3 mana for a creature human soldier ally. It's a 2/3 vigilance. Other allies you control get +1/+1. Go wide payoff.
Go wide payoff, ally payoff.
Yeah.
I don't think it's great.
I don't think it's phenomenal. Yeah, it's like 3 mana 2/3 is not that big, but like
The vigilance doesn't matter on a smaller body.
yeah, it really is like. Are you making a lot of ally tokens? If the
Although,
answer is yes.
To
like,
be fair, there are a lot of allies in this set.
yeah, no, that's why I'm like somewhat interested in this. Like there are a lot. I think I would guess
Probably
like,
half or more of the creatures are
70%
allies.
is the metric I would guess if I had to guess, but I have to check.
So I guess maybe that means I'm underrating this card a bit. Like
Yeah.
a lord for all your creatures would be insane for
Mhm.
3 mana 2/3 vigilance, and this is like
I think it's not that far from that.
it's not that far from
Especially
that.
because the 1/1 tokens are allies.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe this is like a 6, maybe even a 5.
I think I'm happy to start at like a 6 and then trend upwards.
Maybe this card is like a 4, which means I want to give it a 5.
Yeah.
This card might just be like a banger.
I feel like it's a very white card, it's not a very green card.
Yeah, that's true.
Like it's not pumping your earthbending creatures.
Yeah.
So I think I want to start at like a 6, 5.5 because of that. Like it's really more of a white than green card, which is like a bit less flexible.
Fair enough. I think I want to say 5.5. I just have a suspicion that this card's going to be like kind of a high pick.
It seems nice, yeah.
Cool. Next, Suki Kyoshi Warrior, 2 and 2 Selesnya hybrid. So 4 mana for a star 4. Her power is equal to the number of creatures you control. And whenever Suki attacks, create a 1/1 white ally creature token that's tapped and attacking. Also,
Adeline?
She's a human warrior ally.
Adeline?
Well, not Adeline, because Adeline is whenever you attack, which is
Yeah.
very different from whenever
No, this is true.
this creature attacks.
And also
But-
Adeline was 3 mana.
Yeah, so like, basically you're getting 2 fewer 1/1s from Adeline, so it's
Yeah.
really a completely different card.
Oh yeah, no,
Um,
it very much is.
But it's good. Like,
Yeah.
4 mana for like a 2/4 the turn it comes into play that pretty much grows to like a 4/4 by the turn it's attacking. Although the ally will probably die in combat, most likely.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, this card is nice. It's not incredible. I'm not like, I don't think it's premium because it costs 4 and in limited it's like a contested spot a lot of the time. But I want to give this a 6.5.
I agree. Alright, into white black we have Pretending Poxbearers. This is 1 and an Orzhov hybrid, so either 1 in a white or 1 in a black. Creature, human citizen ally. It's a 2/1 with when this creature dies, create a 1/1 white ally creature token. So it's a 2/1 that makes a 1/1, and they have the type ally.
This is enabling your black-white sack synergies. It's also a totally fine rate creature to play in your white ally deck or in your black sack deck.
Yeah.
It's just like a total meat and potatoes curve filler that you're not sad to put in a deck that's either white or black. I like it a lot. It's a 7, but complementary.
Agreed.
Next, Toils of War.
Tolls.
Sorry.
You're good.
Black-white for an enchantment. Just an enchantment. When it enters, create a clue token. And whenever you sacrifice a permanent during your turn, create a 1/1 white ally creature token. This ability triggers only once each turn. So, a lot of restrictions on this.
Yeah, which they need to, otherwise it could be, like, this effect gets broken really easily.
It does, yeah. And I think it's, like, worth it if you're in black-white, which is all this card really asks of you.
Yeah.
Like, it's just saying you are not going to run out of sack fodder, basically. And you'll get a little bit of value every time you sack something, which black-white already wants to do. I like it. I want to give it a 7, meaning that, like, it's a little bit better than that in a white-black deck, but you probably shouldn't take it unless you're, like, already white-black.
I'm closer to 7.5 or 8. I think the output is, like, it is a serviceable engine, but it's a slow engine. And it is a slow engine that's not, like, hugely board impacting at first.
Yeah, that's fair.
So I think I'm starting at, like, an 8, but interested.
Fair enough.
Also, I'm going to run to the bathroom.
Sounds good. I'll talk about the next few. So we have High-Buy, Spirit of Balance. This is 2 and Orzhov hybrid, 4 mana, for a 3/3 legendary bear spirit. When it enters or attacks, you may sacrifice another creature or artifact. If you do, put 2 +1/+1 counters on High-Buy. And then when it leaves the battlefield, put its counters on target creature you control. So it's kind of nice that, like, you basically get to sack something for 2 counters that you know you're getting and aren't really going away unless they, like, kill us at instant speed or in response or something. It's also nice that it's when it enters, you can sort of, like, have this be a 4 mana 5/5 that will distribute back its counters. I think this incentivizes you enough to sack something when it enters that, like, I'm pretty excited about it. I obviously need some amount of sack fodder, but black and white are both, like, somewhat decent at doing that. Black probably a little bit more. I think I like this card. 4 mana 5/5 is very good, and, like, there are enough cards that make me pretty happy to, like, sack something to make that a reality. And there's also rewards for sacrifice. It can continue to grow. I think this card is just nice. I want to give it a 6, and it could even be better than that, but I think for now I'll start at the it's hybrid, actually.
It's hybrid, but it also kind of has a specific space you want it in, which does a little bit to counteract that, but not a lot.
Yeah, I think it's more of a black card than a white card for sure.
Yeah.
I think 6 is fair, because it's going to be, like, actively pretty good in a lot of black decks. It'll be, like, good enough in a lot of white decks, and yeah.
And, like, I am happy to convert my 1/1 token into 2 counters.
Right, and the nice thing is that I was saying, like, the 2 counters, you kind of know that you're getting the 2 counters even if this gets killed.
Yeah.
So I think this card's like pretty sweet.
Yeah, six
is-
maybe in 5.5. Happy with that. Next up, we have Abandoned Attachments. This is one is it hybrid, so one in a blue or one in a red for an instant lesson. You may discard a card. If you do, draw 2 cards. So we have our Tormenting Voice that doesn't get blown up by counter magic, and is like a flexible cantrip to. Flexible might not be the right word. It's 2 mana and you need a card to discard, but it does like give you some like card flow and put a lesson in your graveyard, which is like pretty
Might
nice.
put 2 lessons in your graveyard.
You're true.
I think this card's like nice, but you really only want it if you're like doing the spell thing, doing the draw 2 cards thing, or doing the lessons thing.
Yeah.
You might be doing like multiple of those, so I think it'll see play in a lot of decks, but I don't think you're just like default putting this into your deck.
Also, I'm like kind of happy doing it in like the firebending. If there's a firebending aggressive space,
That's true,
like,
actually.
having
Yeah.
access to that effect with extra mana means that like you're offsetting its awkwardness.
Yeah, okay. 7. I think this is like totally fine card.
Yeah, I think 7. I might even go to 6.5, but I might overrate it then.
Professor Zay, Anthropologist. This is it hybrid? Is it hybrid? 2 mana for an 0/3. It's a human visor ally, legendary. You can tap it to discard a card, then draw, so tap it to rummage. And you can pay 1 tap, sacrifice him, and return target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard to your hand. Activate this ability only during your turn. Huh. I was expecting that to be like 4.
Yeah,
Not
no.
1.
1 is like kind of nice. It's like this card seems like just pretty efficient.
Yeah.
At what it's doing. Like it's not the best defensive body, but it also is not the worst, and it is providing you value every turn, or like almost every turn.
With the hybrid costs, you kind of need to be in blue-red or mono-blue or mono-red
Yeah.
for this to be good, because it's not great if you have to play it later than turn 2.
Although at double blue and blue X, I'm still like not terribly upset about it.
Yeah, that's fair, although like also rummaging is like pretty notably worse than looting.
This is very true.
So yeah, this is an interesting one. I think it's like pretty good though if you can put it in your deck and you care even a little bit about like, you know, rummaging, filling your graveyard with lessons, like getting back some good non-creature, some instant or sorcery, I guess technically. I like it. I don't love it. I want to give it a 6.5.
I was thinking 7 or 7.
7 is fair.
I think
yeah.
rummaging is like much worse than looting, and it is like mana cost is awkward enough. I think
I don't know, like 1 mana though is so cheap to get your best spell back, and
I
it's
agree.
free rummaging.
so. Yeah, I mean, I think 6.5 or 7 is a comfy place to start it on. Next up, we have a Dragonfly Swarm. This is 1 blue-red for a star 3 creature, dragon insect, flying ward 1, and this creature's power is equal to the number of non-creature non-land cards in your graveyard. And when this creature dies, if there's a lesson in your graveyard, draw a card.
That's nice.
This card seems like a nice spells payoff.
Yeah, this is like a pretty premium payoff, I think.
Yeah.
It's gonna be not like incredibly difficult to kill, but it'll be annoying to kill. If they don't kill it, it might just like smack them for 4 then 5 or something.
Yeah.
And when it dies, you draw a card if you have a lesson in your yard, which doesn't seem like too difficult of a like thing to enable. Card's just great.
Yeah, and like ward means like slightly hard to interact with. Like seems like obviously you need to be both in blue and red and doing a spells thing, which if you're in blue and red probably are, although heavy red not necessarily.
Yeah. Power level wise, I think I would probably give this like a 3, but I think pick order wise, I'd probably give it like a 3.5 or a 4.
I think it's hard for me to go higher than 4. I was thinking between 4 and 5, but yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'd probably say 4.5.
Next, Earth Village Ruffians. 2 and a Golgari hybrid for a 3/1, and when this creature dies, Earthbend 2.
Hmm.
Notably not an ally.
Not an ally. X1, but X1 that gives you value after it dies. So like.
Yeah. This one's hard. All the Earthbending cards are really hard to evaluate.
Yeah, I really want to like play with it and see how it feels.
I think it's gonna be pretty good.
I think it's gonna be alright.
Yeah.
I think it seems like about replacement level to me.
I think I want to give this like a 7.5. I think it's like a little bit worse than the other hybrid creatures. It's like a little bit below rate, but just a little bit.
I think that's fair. Next up, we have Long Feng, Grand Secretariat.
Yeah, Secretariat.
Grand Secretariat. 1 Golgari hybrid for a 2/3 legendary creature, Human Advisor. Whenever another creature you control or land you control is put into the graveyard from the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. Earthbending, does the land goes to the graveyard, right? And then comes back, or does it?
Yeah, it's actually a good question. Let's just check
That
really
one should
quick.
have in there. Oh yeah, return it to the battlefield tapped.
So
it does,
that will trigger off
yeah.
Earthbending, which makes sense.
Makes sense. I just wanted to check because
Yeah.
that also triggers landfall, notably.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, so whenever something leaves, you're getting a counter on a creature you control. Huh.
So it's like a blood artist, but
A counter artist.
yeah, counter artist. I think that's pretty good.
I think that's pretty good, yeah. Like
It gives all your creatures modular 1, kind of.
yeah, and like with Joe D, that's kind of nice.
Oh yeah.
It's like this is a payoff for just like taking the action sacrifice.
Yeah. Okay, I think this card's like quite good.
Yeah, it's very much like a black card more than a green card.
Yeah.
But like, so I'm not like super interested in playing it in heavy green decks, I think, but I am like compelled by it in heavy black decks.
I'm feeling an optimistic 5 for Long Fang.
I'm happy with that.
Yeah. Like, it can be a 3/4, not too difficult.
Yeah, and
And
like
that's just,
it
like,
also
fine.
does like creatures will trade off in games of limited, and
This punishes your opponent heavily for that
yeah,
happening.
and you have a lot of flexibility on where the counter goes. It's not just putting counters on itself; it's putting a counter on wherever you want.
Yeah. Next, Dilate Agents, 3 and black green, so 5 mana for 3/4 human soldier. When it enters, Earthbend 1, then Earthbend 1. Okay, and then whenever this creature attacks, each opponent loses X life and you gain X life, where X is the number of creatures you control with +1/+1 counters on them. Pretty nice, but also like a little bit understated as a blocker.
Yeah, and a little bit awkward that like if you're Earthbend 1, like.
You want to put it on
Hard to-
2 different lands, but then you're kind of setting yourself back on mana.
And you're also just like putting your like it's hard to have those lands untapped.
Right. Yeah, there's like enough here that I think it's probably going to be like playably good.
Yeah.
But I'm not super excited about it because it's hard to like profitably attack with your 3/4 for multiple turns.
Mm-hmm.
I think I want to give this a 7.
I don't think I'm comfortable going above like a 7.5. Like multicolor tax is also real here.
Yeah, that's true.
Like
I don't know. It has a lot of words. It like does a lot of it does a lot of like material things. It gets you a
but
lot of resources.
a lot of words, not a lot of stats.
Yeah.
I,
Well, it's not a lot of stats. Like
Yeah.
it's a little bit 5-6 worth of stats for 5.
a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think I'm comfortable putting it like a 7.5 to start.
that's fair.
And I'm kind of trending lower, but we'll see. Sun Warriors is our next card. 2 red/white for a 3/5 creature, human warrior ally. Firebending X, where X is the number of creatures you control. 5, create a 1/1 ally creature token.
Huh.
That's a
That's a
potentially-
lot of firebending.
yeah, that's potentially a lot of mana. And like 5 make a 1/1 is not cheap, but like the first one, if you have nothing else to spend your mana on, sure.
Yeah.
And like that can snowball if you have like super late games. Like if both players flood out, like this card is a way to spend your mana to like get a bunch of board presence,
Yeah.
and they get even more board presence.
I think this card is just like gonna be really good in most red-white decks.
Yeah, no, this card like a 4 mana 3/5 is like the stat line I want on my creature that attacks turn over turn.
Yeah. Okay. I think I like 6 for this card.
I'm on 5.5.
Yeah. No. Yeah, you might be right. It might just
5
be
was my
kind of
first
thing,
instinct, but is like multicolored and
It's just like a 4-drop.
4-drop with stats. Yeah, I think 5.5 or 6.
Next, Jet Freedom Fighter. This is 2 Boros Hybrid, Boros Hybrid, Boros Hybrid. So really, as we talked about with those triple hybrid costs, it's more of like a red-white card or a mono-red or a mono-white card. Jet is a 3/1 legendary human rebel ally, and when he enters, he deals damage equal to the number of creatures you control to target creature an opponent controls. Okay, so we've got like Flame Tongue Kabu things going on if you're going wide. And then when Jet dies, put a +1/+1 counter on each of up to 2 target creatures.
That seems
I think you
pretty
are
nice.
like quite happy to be casting this if you can cast it, but it's not always going to be amazing. It'll sometimes just be like a little bit underwhelming.
Yeah.
I think I'm more multicolor taxing this than I am hybrid, like opposite taxing it.
Strong agree. It's like all the triple hybrid
You
cards.
you basically need to be in red white, I think, for this card.
Yeah.
But
Or like mono white.
yeah, that could
Like
be
I
true,
kind of
too.
like it a lot in mono white.
I think we might need to revise our grade on that 4 and a white. Make like 1/1 allies equal to your plains card.
Mm-hmm.
Like given all these hybrid cards, I think this might actually be a little bit of a monocolor set.
Yeah.
Anyway, this card I think I want to give a 5.
Works for me.
Cool.
Alright, next up we have Platypus Bear. This is 1 and then Simic Hybrid, so 1 green or 1 blue. For a creature, Platypus Bear, it's a 2/3 with Defender. And when it enters, mill 2 cards. As long as there's a lesson card in your graveyard, this creature can attack as though it didn't have Defender.
Huh.
So 2 mana, 2/3, like if you have a lesson, it doesn't have Defender. I don't know, like 2 mana, 2/3 is kind of like an average body, right? And we're putting a little bit of upside and a lot more downside on it.
Yeah, although I do think it's going to be pretty easy to get lesson cards in your yard.
Yeah.
And this like helps that deck out.
Yeah.
Doing that.
That's true.
I think this is like a 7. Like you're gonna play it in the decks where its synergies are useful. You're not gonna play it in the decks where they're not. But like it's also not a horrible defensive speed buyout 2-drop. And like there's just a lot of lessons.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I want to start at 7.5. Like I'm not that far off. I just think it's like I'm really not excited about it unless I like decide that a 2/3 is like a defensive speed body I actually really like.
What if I said this was like also a good waterbending card? Like 2 mana 2/3 creates board stalls. That's like the purpose of that body.
If it's good at doing that, then yeah.
Yeah. It's hard to say.
Yeah.
I think 7 for this is where I'm at.
Yeah, I'm like a little bit lower.
Hermitic Herbalist. This is blue and a green for a 2/3 human druid ally. It has tap, add 1 mana of any color, or tap, add 2 mana in any combination of colors. Spend this only to cast lesson spells.
I like this card.
Yeah, this card's great.
This card's sweet.
Yeah, I mean it's just awesome. Like it's pretty straightforward what it does. 2/3 is a fine body, generates mana for you. Often will generate 2 mana.
Yeah.
Like there's just a lot of lessons.
Mm-hmm.
But lessons are just normal spells in this set, and tapping for 2 mana to cast normal spells on a 2-drop with a good body, hell yeah, I'm in for that. I would like to give this a 4.
Think about this card is like with multicolor attacks. Like I'm never splashing this card. I'm only playing this card if I am in blue-green.
Although it does let you splash other things.
Yeah, lets you splash other things, which is nice. Like, I might want to trend more towards 4.5 or 5 in terms of pick order. It's hard for me to see a setup card as like really pulling me in, but like it is good. It's really
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's fair.
I
think I'm happy with my 3.5.
I think I'm taking it below like the blue 4 or 5.
I don't know if I am.
Early in the draft because it's multicolored. I think it's hard. I think I'm gonna start at 4.5, but I think like we both agree the card's very powerful.
Yeah.
Next up we have a Gurupathic. This is 2 Simic, so 2. It's a hybrid card. Legendary creature, human monk ally. When Gurupathic enters, look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may reveal a lesson, saga, or shrine card from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in random order. Whenever you cast a lesson, saga, or shrine spell, put a +1/+1 counter on another target creature you control. It's a 2/4.
That's great.
Yeah.
Like 4 mana 2/4 draw a card is good. It's not always gonna be that. Like lesson, saga, or shrine. I mean, lesson is the operative one there.
Yeah.
But like top 5 is a lot. You
Yeah.
are gonna need a pretty high density of lessons. Like I think I want like 7 in my deck.
I
Where
want
I'm
to check.
like expecting this to draw me a card and really bummed if it doesn't.
Yeah, I want to double check the geometric calculator to see like exactly how many I want.
5 is a lot of cards to look at. Is the thing.
No, it is. That's why I want to like check the exact break points.
Yeah, this will whiff though. This
Yeah.
will whiff. Like some amount of the time, some meaningful amount of the time it will whiff. But also, like, whenever you cast a lesson, you put a counter on something. I think the upside is there where, like, I'm happy about this card, but I'm not thrilled either, because the fail case is, like, pretty bad.
And it does suck you can't put counters on itself.
Yeah. I want to give this a 7.
I'm gonna give it a 6.5.
Little pessimistic 7.
I'm gonna give it a slightly optimistic 6.5.
Yeah, totally fair.
Like maybe even a 6. Like I don't know. I feel like
I could see 6. The upside's really strong.
Upside is there.
Yeah. All right, done with the multicolor. On to colorless and the lands. First up, Barrels of Blasting Jelly. 1 colorless for an artifact. It has 1 add 1 mana of any color. Activate only once each turn. So it's like your crappy fixer if you really need fixing. And then it has 5 tap, sacrifice this artifact. It deals 5 damage to target creature. So it is your crappy fixer colorless artifact and your crappy inefficient removal spell colorless artifact all in one.
Yay!
I think this is an artifact that you're only gonna play when you need fixing or removal, and you're not really ever happy when you play it, but it's also never that bad.
What if I told you in some decks it has tap out of colorless?
Oh yeah, that's true. Okay. I'm not that excited still.
I agree.
I think I would like to give this an 8.
I think 8's kind of is like generous if waterbending didn't exist. So I think I'm about in the same spot. Like, it's very inefficient removal. It's very inefficient fixing.
But like both of those together is something that I don't think we've seen before.
Yeah, and then also it has the upside of like I like it a lot more in decks where it can tap for mana.
Like, I again don't think I'm like indexing on waterbending that highly. I think you're indexing on it like systematically, probably like 1 or 2 notches more highly than I am, but that's fine.
No, and to be clear, it's not pushing me that much higher on this card. It's just making me interested.
Totally.
And like I don't know if there's actually going to be decks where we can actually get a density of waterbending effects like that. There aren't like that many cards that waterbend, but
yeah. I think like 8.5 is probably fair for this.
I would agree.
Cool.
Next up we have Kyoshi Battle Fan. This is 2 colorless for an artifact equipment. When it enters, create a 1/1 ally creature token and then attach this equipment to it. Equip creature gets +1/+0, equip 2.
So this actually I'm kind of like, oh, waterbending.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's 2 mana, 2/1 that leaves behind an equipment and is just 2 rectangles.
Yeah.
So like interesting with waterbending, interesting with sacrificing things.
Yeah.
Like this card's like it's not never gonna be like phenomenal because it's a 2-mana. It's like 2-mana 2/1, but it is just like if you want the rectangles, here are your rectangles.
I think this is gonna be secretly a little bit of a blue-white-gold card. Maybe also a black white card, so I guess like an Esper Space card.
Yeah.
But it's gonna do a lot of things that those decks like. So
Agreed.
I think I like it at like a 7.5. I think you're actually going to be somewhat happy to play it in that color space and pretty aggressively unhappy to play it outside of that. And it being colorless means that like I'm going to be I'm going to be like okay picking this up mid-pack a lot of the time.
It is kind of like a blue-black hybrid card.
In what way? Oh, because of the sacrifice stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's basically like an Esper card, I think.
Yeah. I guess because white also has cards that say waterbending on them, yeah.
Right. So if you're white-black or white-blue, I think you're also pretty happy. All right, so I guess grade for this, I want to give it like 7.5. Yeah. Cool. Next, Aang's Journey. 2 colorless for a sorcery lesson. It has kicker 2. You search your library for a basic land card. If it was kicked, instead search your library for a basic land and a shrine. Reveal those, put them into your hand, and then shuffle. You gain 2 life. So we saw this card as Environmental Sciences in Strixhaven, and it was great there, but that's because we had Learn in that set.
Yeah, it wasn't
this one you gotta put in your deck, and you gotta draw it like a normal card.
Yeah, this card I don't love. It's basically you're paying... The 4-mana mode, we've identified that shrines seem pretty fake, and so I'm not.
This is the card that like makes me believe that maybe shrines is like possible to do.
It's just you know what that costs for this to get a shrine? 4 mana. You know what everything else costs in shrines? 4 mana.
I know.
It's your many 4 drops.
Yeah, totally fair.
Like I'm interested, and I hope that someone succeeds with putting a bunch of shrines and Aang's journeys in their deck. I'm just incredibly dubious.
Same. Yeah, and like as a fixer, you really need to care about the lesson, I think, to be wanting to play this card.
Yeah.
Like this is sort of a blue-green gold card a little bit.
Yeah.
And
As
even then,
I mean, even then, now it's in the conversation as a very below replacement card.
yeah, I agree.
Like I don't think it's I will not claim it to be unplayable.
Yeah, like I think
Is
you
the best I can
probably
give it.
would play this in a deck that like really did need fixing. As like a 2 mana gain 2 Lay of the Land.
Yeah.
Like I think that's not bad enough that you wouldn't play it in the deck that needs it as your like 17 to 18
So
land.
you say like a 9?
Yeah, I think I want to give this a 9.
Yeah.
Like, and that's pretty respectful.
Yeah.
I guess is what I would say.
I would strongly agree. Alright, next up we have Bender's Waterskin. This is 3 colors for an artifact. Untap this artifact during each other player uses untap step. Tap, add 1 mana of any color. This is really interesting because it baseline as a manolith. If you're only casting cards at sorcery speed, this is a manolith. It's just tapping for 1 any color. That's not a great rate. But if you're able to leverage the 2 mana it generates you over every turn cycle, suddenly it's like, oh, it's generating a bunch of mana.
Yeah.
And like if you're able to leverage that by like going up, like interacting, going up in cards, like suddenly like the mana generation is really valuable. That being said, I think in limited, that's like, even in this set which has like some like instant speed abilities and good instants, it's pretty hard to do consistently.
Yeah, I mean, I think this like 3 mana for an artifact that taps for 2 mana, especially if it's like mana of different colors, is like pretty broken. It's like, and if you get that out of this, then I think you're getting a card that you're like pretty happy with.
Yeah.
But you do need to have like a lot of ways to get that out of it. Manolith on its own is not terrible. You can play it if you have like a slightly clunky deck with a lot of 5s or a deck that needs fixing. This is like a weird Manolith in that the upside doesn't really mediate the normal downsides of Manolith, which is that you're just like playing an extra clunky mana source that doesn't actually do anything, and a lot of the Manoliths they've printed recently can like cash themselves in for cards or like board presence in some way. This doesn't do that, but in a deck that's very hungry for mana, I think you probably do want to play this. So I want to give it an 8. I think like you're gonna pick it up speculatively if you just like need fixing sometimes, and it's gonna be like kind of generating 2 mana per turn cycle in your waterbending deck, which is like a pretty good output for your 3 mana.
Yeah, I think an 8 is comfortable to start. I really don't know. My confidence interval is so wide on this card.
Yeah, it's very weird. Next, Zuko's Exile. 5 colorless for an instant lesson. Exile target artifact, creature, or enchantment. Its controller creates a clue token.
If you need interaction,
you need
so
removal.
bad.
You really need removal. Your opponent
Like,
has an unbeatable bomb that costs 6 mana that you just want to have a card to sit on.
Or you're like in a super low to the ground aggressive deck and you just need a thing that kills anything to get a blast blocker out of the way, maybe.
Congrats. This card is colorless and no one wants it, so you get to pick one.
Yeah, was like a 9 as
9.
well?
Yeah. Like you'll get them for free, but you probably would like, obviously you'd like rather have one in your board than not, but like I think you like that actually is somewhat relevant.
Yeah, I agree. Alright, next up we have Trusty Boomerang. This is single colors for an artifact equipment. Now we're getting into the uncommons here. Equip 1. Equipped creature has 1 tap target creature. Return Trusty Boomerang to its owner's hand. What if I just like never looked at this card again?
Yep. Agreed.
This
card is like unplayable.
All it does is tap creatures for
and it
one
also
mana.
like taps them during their turn usually, because that's like what tappers are useful for most of the time. And then you like can't redeploy this.
Yeah. Oh my
You're
God.
spending 3 mana a turn cycle to tap something. This card's a 10. I don't think you should ever put it in your deck unless there's like a really specific interaction that we're missing, and I don't think there is.
Yeah.
Next, Energy Bending. 2 colorless for an instant lesson. Lands you control gain all basic land types until end of turn, draw a card. Okay. I'm playing this if I'm like a heavy lesson deck that needs a 2 colorless cantrip lesson.
Yeah, unfortunately, this does not really work well with the basic land type matters cards that we've seen monocolor every turn. Like, sorry, the monocolor cards that, like, for a number of planes or whatever, because you need to spend 2 extra mana on those already expensive spells. And
Yeah.
you need to have both those cards in your hand to line that up. And this is a cantrip that you kind of just want to fire off when you can. Similar reason why it's not really great fixing, because it's 2 mana on top of whatever spell you're casting. It mostly is like incidental fixing that you want to play because it says lesson and is 2 mana draw card.
I would honestly not even say it's incidental fixing. Like, this
Yeah,
is like
no,
so egregiously bad as
This-
fixing. I like
yeah.
don't even want to count it as fixing at all.
I agree. I would not count it into my source count. You're correct.
Yeah. This is 2 colorless for cantrip lesson.
Yeah, which is like some decks might want.
Yeah, some decks might play that. I want to give it a 9.
Yeah, works for me. Next up, we have Fire Nation Warship. This is one of my favorite designs in the set. Just like flavorfully. It's 3 colors for a 4/4 artifact vehicle with reach.
This is like the secret reach card of the set, I think.
Crew 2. And when this creature dies, create a clue token. So when this vehicle dies, create a clue token. So it's a 3 mana 4/4 crew 2 reach vehicle that if you get to trade it off, you get a clue.
I think I don't like this.
I don't think it's great. I don't like type vehicle just generally.
Yeah,
it's
and
like
crew 2 is like much more than crew 1.
Yeah, like it's your 1/1 ally running around. It's not going to create this.
And if it ETB'd and made a clue, I'd be like, oh, that's actually pretty nice. This card might be good. Like, it's really hard for your 4/4 to die, and you've also like invested resources into it and then have it die, and then like, yeah, getting the clue is nice, but I'm not happy to put like an understated vehicle in my deck to make that happen.
Yeah.
It's not that understated, but like
It is
not
like
a lot of reason to put vehicles in my deck.
to attack with it. You have to like commit some resources and then attack with it. If your opponent doesn't need to block, they're not going to block. To block with it, your opponent's just not going to attack their 4-power creature into this. Like, they just don't need to. The other mode of this card is kind of like it's 2 rectangles for sacrifice synergies, but it's very inefficient at that.
Yeah, that's true, but like,
It's
if you
very
use it, if you
inefficient.
sacrifice it twice, you've gotten no value. Besides the sacrifice fodder.
Yeah. No,
like, yeah.
To be clear, I don't like that.
Yeah. I want to give this an 8.5.
I want to give this a 9.
Fair enough. The body is like big enough that I think it might just be okay.
That's fair. I think 8.5 is probably fair then, yeah.
Meteor Sword. 7 mana for an equipment. When this equipment enters, destroy target permanent. And then it is an equipment, so equipped creature gets +3/+3, and you can equip for 3.
Huh.
Weird card.
Yeah, this card is... I simultaneously like this card and think it's pretty bad in a weird way.
Yeah,
Where,
I think
like-
this card is just probably like straight up bad.
I mean, what this card does is it lets you turn a lot of mana into a decent amount of board presence.
Yeah, but
Like,
like,
you get to interact with the most important thing and then have an equipment that does present a lot of power and toughness.
how good was Meteor Golem in Limited? It was like
fine.
playable, but not actively good by any means, I think.
Yeah.
This is pretty significantly worse than that.
I wouldn't say that. I agree with that.
Well, like,
I
you
think
just
it's-
don't get a creature.
Yeah, but I guess but you get an equipment that gives something +3/+3. I guess my
But he
thought
does
is,
not give it right away, which is like
Yeah. Oh, I
really
agree.
important.
I mean, to be clear, I'm interested in Meteor Sword in spots where it's like that's what I mean by like I like this card a lot and I'm very low on it. Where I agree with this, but I also like see, the spots I see wanting this are spots where like I'm planning a lot farther ahead and I'm trying to leverage the equipment as well as the interaction with a lot of mana.
I think this is only ever a sideboard card for extremely grindy matchups.
I think I strongly agree.
Okay, so I want to give it a 9.5.
Yeah, sounds good.
Cool.
I might say 9. It's there. All right. Next up, we're into the lands. We have Rumble Arena. This is a land. Keyword: vigilance.
Only in this set.
Obviously, the joke here being if you put counters on this card and earthbend it, whoa, it has vigilance. When it enters, scry 1, tap, add colorless, 1 tap, add 1 mana of any color. So this is our like Shimmering Grotto effect, where like we have like some fixing that makes your fixed cards cost an extra mana, and and then also scries. I personally am like not really a big fan of these, even with the scry one attached. There's been formats where they've been fine. Notably though, I'm a big fan of this in monocolor.
Interesting. Really?
Just because Scry 1 is powerful. Like, Surveil lands have proven to be quite powerful.
I guess I would say that, like, I'm a big fan of it in literal monocolor.
That is what I'm saying, yes.
Okay. But, like, most of your decks, even in this heavily monocolor format, even in Throne of Eldraine, that was, like, the original version of this, are not going to be actual monocolor.
That's fair, yeah. That's very fair.
And I think this is, like, actively bad in not actual monocolor.
I strongly agree, yeah.
And even in monocolor, like, you're gonna have those payoffs for each of the like type of land.
Yeah.
And this does work against those.
That is true, yeah.
It's a very interesting card that is sort of like potentially marginally good and potentially marginally bad in almost every kind of like number of colors you could have in your deck. I think it's worst in a straight up 2-color deck.
Yeah.
But beyond that, like, it's okay if you have cheap cards that you want to splash. It's okay if you have, like, basically a monocolor deck and just want to scry land. It does enough that it's never horrible. Hard to evaluate.
Remember, kids, though, this is not free.
Not free.
Colorless slant.
This makes your spell that you're fixing for cost 1 more to cast.
That's
which
a lot
is
of mana.
Big deal.
Yeah.
Most spells are powerful because they cost exactly how much they cost, and if they cost 1 more, they would not be nearly as powerful.
Yep.
They might even be bad. But, that being said, like, land that enters and scries and can tap for colorless untapped and then, like, sometimes fixes is, like, never horrible. So, I think I want to give this, like, an 8.5. You're just, like, gonna want to pick up one at some point in some drafts, but, like, you're probably not gonna put it in your final deck, like, 75 to 90% of the time.
I don't feel the need to prioritize this. I want to give it 9.5.
Fair enough. I think it's, like, pretty notably better than other, like, 8-powered commons, because it's just a land that you can speculate on for fixing, I guess, is where I'm at.
That's fair. I just feel like it's kind of not gonna make the cut enough of the time. Maybe 9 is fine, but
yeah, fair enough. Okay, so now we're getting to the cycle of tap dual lands that we have in a lot of sets. I like that these are common. I don't think they have like a special land slot.
I think they probably do. They usually do.
I think they like sometimes do and sometimes don't. It really just depends.
I believe I would say with pretty high confidence that 90 to 100% of sets in the last couple years that are like standard sets with like your normal limited formats were land slot.
Really?
I cannot remember a format off the top of my head before cons, honestly, after cons, that had I would open like 2 of these non-basics in a pack.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I mean, we want to just like evaluate these all basically the same. They're like the green ones are slightly more valuable usually because they let you splash in green that already wants to splash. There's nothing, so I should I guess read like what they do. They are exactly a tapped dual land without any like notable types, but they also have 4 tap, sacrifice this land, and draw a card.
That's pretty nice.
Yeah, it's like a pretty nice ability. I think you really like a tapped dual land in limited because limited mana bases are bad. Splashing is often good, and making your 2-color mana base more consistent is also like much better than most people think. And cashing them in for a card in the late game is also really nice. I like this a lot. I think these cards are like 5s. I think you should take them above most other commons.
I agree.
Cool.
Yeah. Especially like in monocolored spaces, like it lets you like have your second splash color while having high source count.
And now we're at our last card, because going beyond this is like the cards that aren't actually in the draft set.
Okay, yeah. So our last card is White Lotus Hideout. This is a land. Has tap, add for colorless. And then it has tap, add 1 mana of any color. Spend this mana only to cast a lesson or a shrine spell. And then it has 1 colorless tap, add 1 mana of any color.
They're really trying to make shrines work, where like you can take a bunch of them and then have these like free lands that come around to you that fix for them. It's just a question of like, even if you can cast all of them, are they even worth it?
The answer is probably no.
Yeah.
This card.
This is worse than the Skyland, I think.
Oh yeah, no,
By, like,
it's
a lot.
notably worse. The only reason I'm ever playing this card is because if I am only splashing, if I'm splashing a card and the only cards I'm splashing of that color or colors are lessons, then it's just better. And then I'm not also searching for basic lands of that color, then it might be better than a basic of that color. But it's not. I'm not counting this to ever tap for my deck's main colors.
Yeah.
Because it's not casting my creatures, it's not casting my non-lessons. Like, it's just not doing enough, and Shimmering Garada is just not it.
9.5.
Yeah.
Could be a 10.
I agree with both those statements.
Nice. All right, I'm even more excited for this set.
Oh,
after
it
the
seems
review.
so sick.
The hybrid cards really
Yeah.
turned me on to this set, being like, oh, maybe this is going to be a banger.
Oh my god.
I'm so excited to draft this set at Worlds. I'm so excited to just draft a bunch over the next few weeks because we've been doing a lot of constructed prep, and obviously it's Magic, it's fun, but like Limited is just so much better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm stoked. This was long. Thanks everyone for sticking with us. These set reviews are always a slog, but a fun slog.
I also think it's possible some cards might have been missing from this.
Oh really?
Like notably, like there was not a red-white hybrid common card, which I believe probably exists in the set.
Interesting. Let's see.
And I don't think we saw the Islands Matter card.
Yeah, that's true.
Or if we
maybe this site hasn't been updated enough, and there like could be a couple cards missing that were like spoiled today or something. That could be.
Yeah, that might be true.
We're trying to get this out very quickly, so
yeah,
could be that.
We got most of the cards, so I'm not too worried. I just wanted to call that out.
Totally. Also, shout out to whoever runs this site. It's called mtgset.review, and you can support them on Patreon. There's a link on the site for it. So we've been using this. It's really great tool. Yeah, go support them if you feel like supporting them. I don't know who it is, but they seem, anyone who makes a useful tool from their own free will of like working to make something cool is good by me.
Hell yeah.
All right. Thanks, guys, for listening, and we will do Rares and Mythics at some point next week, probably, but it will be, like, after this weekend, I think.
Yep.
All right. See ya.
Bye.
Peace.